DreAllDay.com.
Dre Baldwin, DreAllDay.com. This message is for everybody out there who is business building. You're in the process right now. You're trying to get your weight up, get your game up, get your hustle up, whatever you're doing, and you want to get some consistency in your results. Let me explain to you that in order to get consistency in your outputs, the most important thing you need is consistency in your inputs, which means, and this is the challenge right here for a lot of people, it's a very simple idea that anyone can understand, but it's very hard to execute. Here it is. Same things, the same way, every time. I'm going to say it again, and I'm going to say it a bunch more before this video is over. The same things, the same way, every time. When I was in college, for example, one of my challenges was that I didn't understand this concept. So when we would have practice on the basketball team, I would get bored at practice because we did the same things the same way every time. It was the same warm-up, the same little drills we did at the beginning of practice. It's the same people every day. The coach with his same little quotes and sayings. It started to get boring. I'm like, man, I need some variety in my life. So I would just do different stuff. Like some days I'd feel like playing hard, and some days I wouldn't, and some days I wouldn't always be locked in every day, and the coach would get annoyed with me because I wasn't showing up doing the same things the same way every time, the way that I was supposed to. And then I got hurt by that because then I got less playing time, and the team wasn't as successful because I was a good player, but I wasn't playing as much as I should have. So weaker players were playing in front of me, and that hurt the team overall. This is something that I didn't understand as an amateur, but I understand it now as a professional. So this is what I wish somebody had given me this game when I was in college. So that's why I'm giving the game now to any of you. You don't have to be in college. You could even be older than me. But this whole thing is the key to one of your keys to success. And I'm going to explain to you why. Again, it's the same things the same way every time. First of all, when you do the same things the same way every time, the number one thing that it does for you is once you find a process that works and you keep doing it the same way, then you get sustainable, duplicatable, predictable results. And I want you to understand something about a professional. The thing that makes a pro is not that they have so much talent, and yes, talent is part of the equation. It's not about their money, and yes, money is part of the equation. It's not about their potential. Yes, potential is part of the equation. What makes a pro, the true thing that makes a pro is the consistency and the dependability of their results. The consistency and dependability of their showing up and their performance. You know exactly what you're going to get. The example that I use with people that everyone can understand, you look at somebody like LeBron James, or if you're older, Michael Jordan, but you would still understand LeBron James. What makes LeBron James so great is not that he scored 50 points in the championship games. It's not that he has a big game when everybody's watching. Is that if you go to a game where LeBron is playing, any given night up through all these years of his career, you know that he's going to get 27 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists every night. That's what makes him great. Michael Jordan, 30 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists every night. That's what made them great, is that it doesn't matter when you show up. You can pick any random day in their career, 30 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. LeBron, 27, 8, and 7 every single time. That's what makes a person great, is that they are consistent. In the business world, what makes a business great and what puts an entrepreneur on a path that they really know what they're doing in business is when they can predict what they're going to do in business. They know how much money they're going to make. It's January. They know how much money they're going to make in October because they have a predictable plan, predictable systems for how things are going to work in their business. They know how they're bringing people in. They know what process those people go through. I'm talking about the buyers, the customers, and they know how much money is going to come out on the back end, how much money they got to spend to sustain all of this, and how much they're going to get to take home. Businesses get to know this. When they get to that point, that's when they're kind of in that cruise control position. Now, that doesn't mean things don't change. Doesn't mean businesses don't have challenges, but predictable systems are what make businesses businesses. The way a company like Amazon, you think Amazon has some idea how much money they're going to make every day? Yes, they do. They have a pretty good idea how much money they're going to make off every product that gets posted on their site because they have predictable systems in place. And in the sports world, the athletes that get paid the most are not the athletes with the most potential, even though in some sports, professional sports could be a little bit of an aberration because sometimes athletes get paid on potential, but then they don't perform at all. And sometimes athletes get paid a little bit because people don't see the potential, then they outperform it and they get a bigger contract. But the best pros, not talking about the money, but in terms of their reputations, are the ones who are consistent in their performance. You know exactly what you're going to get from them every single time. So that's number one, is that you become a real pro by being consistent. Number two thing is that it reduces the amount of decisions that you need to make and the amount of thinking, the amount of mental energy you need to use every day, because you don't have to think about what to do. See, if you're a person who knows exactly what you're doing in business, you know exactly what your process is for business every day, you don't have to decide what to do. For example, when I worked at McDonald's, I was not the owner. I was just a bottom line, bottom level employee, bottom of the totem pole employee. I didn't have to figure out how to make burgers. There was a little guide chart right there that said, this is how you make burgers. You take this many, you put them right here, right here, right here, put this down, push the button. When the thing beeps, lift it up, take them off and put them in this, and then put them in there. That's it. That's all I had to do. Then the next person did their part, the next person did their part. And before you know it, we got a Big Mac and we got a cheeseburger and we got some fries. The customers got their food. They pay their money. McDonald's just keeps making it. Why? Because they created such a duplicatable, easily repeatable system. Same things, the same way, every time, that they could make that into $1 billion entity, because they did the same things the same way every time. This is the discipline, folks. It's not always easy. Sometimes you don't feel like executing the disciplines, but understand, discipline is what creates the confidence. All right, the most confident people you know are also the most disciplined people you know. They're confident because they know exactly what they're doing, the same things, the same way every time. So they don't have to feel anxious about anything. They're not worried about anything because they know exactly what's going to happen. At least in some part, they have some control over things because they know they're doing the same things the same way every time. Discipline creates confidence. Discipline also creates some space. It creates freedom of movement for you and freedom of thought for you, because now there are fewer things that you need to remember what to do, and you have more mental space to focus on the areas where you do need to make decisions, where you do need to think about things. Think about someone like Steve Jobs, who created this very phone that I'm recording this video on. He would wear the same clothes every day. Not the same, exact same clothes, but he had a whole bunch of the same shirt and a whole bunch of the same pants. Why? Because he didn't want to have to make a decision as to what clothes to wear every day. So he would free up his mental energy so he could focus on things like, how are we going to make this device that combines a computer, an MP3 player, and a phone that we now call the iPhone. He wanted to free up mental energy to focus on that, a bigger problem, than focusing on a little problem like, what color pants am I going to wear to match this shirt? He didn't want to waste mental energy on that. Same things, same way, every time. Understand something, folks. The most predictable areas of your life, whether it's things that you do or things that other people do, the things that you're willing to pay for, the things that you depend on, the things that you come to expect, they do things the same. They do the same things the same way every time, and that's why you pay for them. That's why you depend on them. That's why you like them. That's why when the Wi-Fi goes out for like 10 minutes at your house, you get angry, because you expect it to be the same way every time, because you're paying for it, right? It's the exact same thing with you. If you want to be a pro at what you do, I don't care if you play sports, if you're a dancer, if you're whatever you do, it doesn't matter what your job is, you got to be consistent. Your outputs need to be consistent. And when your outputs are consistent and people know exactly what they're going to get from you, that's when they're willing to pay for you. That's when they're willing to make a commitment to you. That's when your price goes up. That's when your value goes up. And that's when everything you want in life, attention, fame, money, love, happiness, admiration, likes, followers, whatever, all of those things go up when people know exactly what they're going to get from you. So step up your predictability. Be more predictable. Being predictable is not a bad thing. It is a good thing. As a matter of fact, it is the hallmark of a professional. You know exactly what you're going to get. That's what you need. If you have not yet, all that said, if you haven't yet gotten your free copy of my newest book, it's called The Third Day, The Decision That Separates the Pros from the Amateurs. I will give you a copy of the book for free. All you're going to do is cover the shipping. I've already paid for the book. You're just going to cover the shipping. The link is down below at thirddaybook.com, and just tell me where to send it, and I will ship you a copy of that book. Also, send me a text message if you want to get my daily motivation text. I send a text every day to help keep you mentally focused, sharp, and on point every single morning, so you go out here and do the same things the same way every time. My text number is 305-384-6894. Once you text me and we confirm you, you'll be getting my daily motivation every morning. And you can text me and ask me questions and share challenges and stuff like that, because I do respond to my texts. I spend time every day going through my texts and responding to people. So hit me up, 305-384-6894. Work on your game. Dre all day.